So I think that we can start with a little bit of context.
Yeah.
Let's start with the ring, because the ring has its own story. I wanted to hold the ring.
Sorry.
It's very pretty.
It is.
I have a confession that goes along with this proposal story that we've had to share with our parents and everything when we shared the proposal story. We started looking at rings.
Like a few months into dating.
I mean, in the How We Met story, you already heard that we had been friends for 5 years.
Yeah, we knew each other really well.
We knew each other really well.
And before we started dating, we had talked about all of the really important life things that you want to make sure you're compatible on before entering a long-term relationship.
It was kind of funny though, because we shared this with each other later after the fact, but very soon into dating, I was thinking I could never really picture my life going forward because there are a lot of unknowns. And when I started dating you, it's things started filling in, and I knew that I wanted to marry you very early on. And I think we both admitted to each other that we felt that before we said anything. Yeah. And then I'm trying to remember the details here, all of the little details, but I think that we were at a mall in San Antonio, because Katelyn lived in San Antonio. I lived in Houston back then. We had a mall at a food court. I think we were at, what's the big downtown one in San Antonio? Yeah, the big downtown mall.
Yeah, we're on the Riverwalk, which I don't know why we were there.
I don't know. Were we on a date?
At the mall?
I don't know. I think maybe we ate downtown at the Riverwalk and we were walking around maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know the exact
But I remember
details.
being at the food court.
I remember being at the food court, and I remember walking past a ring place, and Katelyn and I kind of looked at each other wouldn't it be funny?
Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy?
Wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be so silly?
So silly, so crazy.
Look at rings. And then we really got into it. And then that's how we kind of broached the topic of marriage.
I feel like we had not, I feel like knowing us, we would have talked about it.
We probably would have talked about it. Yeah.
I do remember,
so funny to think about us back then, tiptoeing a little bit around, we didn't really tiptoe around anything. We just jumped into the dating, right away. There's no games. There's no holding anything back or anything like that. It was nice, but it is so funny to think about us when I was so nervous to tell you that I liked you. I was so nervous because we had been friends for 5 years. It makes sense, but
it's funny. There's a lot on the line when you're good friends first, because if it doesn't work out, it could mess up your friendship. So there's a lot more stress than entering into a typical relationship.
And Katelyn was the type of friend that I knew that I was going to be friends with for a long time. It's those are the rare friends that you know, I just really get along with this person on all sorts of things. We love hanging out. There's no drama between us at all. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that I'm her friend. Anyways.
One interesting thing, this is going back a bit, but saying how we both kind of knew even earlier than we told each other that we wanted to marry the other person. Yeah. One thing, and I remember it specifically because it was part of my wedding vows.
Yeah.
But I read an excerpt from my journal where I had written we haven't even kissed yet, and I know that I want to marry him. And it's just such a weird thing to think about. That's so not usual. That's not that's a usual thing.
Our relationship isn't the most usual.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we were at the mall and we decided to look at rings. And I feel like after that, we were just on a very fun secret mission that we didn't tell anyone else about because we felt weird admitting to other people that we were already looking at rings.
So we were long distance dating. And every weekend I went to visit Katelyn in San Antonio because her car was on its last legs.
Yeah.
And probably fairly regularly would go to one jeweler and then another and then another. Mm-hmm. And Katelyn had a very specific vision in mind that formed as we kept on kind of looking at rings. And we realized we weren't ever going to find it. So which
is weird because I feel like it's
it's the simplest ring design. It's just a circle.
It's a circular cut diamond. I don't remember all the like
terms,
fancy terms. On like a raised setting. Man, I knew all the terms at one point. And then the band has like diamonds, tiny ones set in the band, kind of like on the front of it. And I wanted like the band of the engagement ring to match the band of the wedding ring. And that's it. It's super, super simple.
But I think that like it was too simple.
It was too simple.
And it didn't exist anywhere.
Yeah, everything was like way too fancy and way too intricate.
For you.
For me.
Yeah, for what the vision that you had in your mind. So we custom designed it.
We
and
did.
we were still long distance dating at that time when we chose the wedding ring. And when I went to pick it up, because
it was at a place in San Antonio.
Yeah, because like Katelyn and I designed it together. It was Katelyn. And then we ordered it while we were living apart. And then when I was visiting Katelyn, I was like, well, I need to run an errand. I'll be back in a little bit. And like Katelyn knew what it was.
What else could it be?
What else could it be? So I came back all like really excited, like, oh, and Katelyn was like, wow, what's that you got there? But I couldn't show it to her because.
Well, yeah. But it was so funny because you're like, oh, nothing suspicious. And I'm like, oh, what's that you've got?
Nothing suspicious. But like that's how secrets between us work.
Yeah.
We acknowledge that there's a secret thing. Mm-hmm. And then like I just say, hey, I'm doing a secret thing. And Katelyn's like, thanks for the heads up.
I'll make sure not to accidentally like walk in while you're like working on your surprise.
Yeah. So it's like when I'm doing something for Katelyn's birthday or Christmas or something, I'll just like let her know, like, don't come into this room without knocking because I'm working on a present for you. Yeah. It's great. It's a great way to like have secrets from each other.
And by secrets, really, you mean surprises.
Surprises. Yeah. It's not a secret. So that's the ring story.